Friends, welcome to Jesus and Leadership. I'm Dr. Jenny Harrop, and I've been looking forward to this course for almost a year now. And I'm excited that there aren't that many of you, so we will get to know each other well and to know our resources well and to explore this topic together. The books are free e-resources through the library. I hope you've seen that, so you don't need to spend money if you don't want to. But if you're a paper fan, you can also buy them. They're available through Amazon. This one's not that expensive. So feel free to order them as well, whatever's easier for you, so you can take notes, write in them, get to know them well. Our course is set up with a very simple pattern, and I do that on purpose so that you can really focus on the content, focus on your responses, focus on applying the content to your own lives, to how you approach leadership, what you're aspiring to do in the workplace. So you have every week a discussion forum to complete. Those will be due first responses by Wednesday midnight, and then your responses to at least 2 peers. Feel free to do more than that if you want to, by Saturday at midnight. And then every week, Sunday at midnight, you'll have a response paper due. The response papers will typically be between 2 to 4 pages long. I usually write at least, so that if you go over that amount, that's fine. But I'm looking for at least the minimum of 2 full pages. That means all the way down to the bottom of that second page. Please don't make the mistake of turning in a page and a half, because that will not warrant a C or higher. That's likely going to be a D or not a passing grade. So make sure that you hit the minimum requirements on everything. So discussion forums, I'm really just looking for you to engage thoughtfully with the content. I will post a TED Talk or a YouTube or some kind of a discussion. I usually try for between 10 and 20 minutes, so it's not going to take too much of your time. But somebody who is known for talking about leadership, or perhaps talking about Christian apologetics once we get into exploring Jesus a little bit more. So I want you to watch that and then respond thoughtfully on the discussion forum. If you respond thoughtfully and you hit the minimum word requirement for each of the responses on the discussion forum, and here's the clincher, you turn it in on time, all the deadlines, all the expectations are posted on the discussion forum instructions. If you hit all of those things, you're probably going to get full credit, okay? So I'm just aiming you towards earning the grade that you want to earn in this class. So discussion forums, just hit the bare minimum. And, one thing I didn't mention, edit your work. So just like you would in the workplace, you're not going to type something in really, I hope you don't, type something in really quickly and hit send. Take the time, type it in really quickly, and then take the time to edit. Read it out loud if you need to. Make sure your commas are in the right place. Make sure you don't have run-on sentences. It's not just that I'm being picky because, yes, I am an English professor by training, but also because those of us reading it, your peers included, should not have to reread in order to understand what your meaning is. We should be able to read it one time, understand your meaning, and then respond to it. So please don't make us work extra hard. So in order to get full credit on those discussion forums, you also need to edit your work. Response papers, pay attention to the prompt. Pay attention to what I'm asking in terms of minimum requirements, and it will be very clear on every assignment. If it's ever not clear, please let me know. And then I want you to make sure that you have a clear thesis statement. This is for your response papers. If you're not sure what a thesis statement is, if you've forgotten, you can let me know by email or look on, there's a resource book at the top of our Foxtail site. It's called The Simple Math of Writing Well, written by a world-renowned, just kidding, I actually wrote the book, but there is a section in there that covers thesis statements. Every thesis statement should do 2 things. In a single sentence, state what your topic is and make a claim about that topic, okay? Gone are the days of just writing a little paper about butterflies, because most of us have some kind of a resource where we can instantly look up that kind of information. Every time you write something, you should be making a claim of some kind. You're putting your stamp on it, okay? So make sure that when you submit that response paper, if I were to ask you to, you could actually underline your thesis statement. Typically, it will fall in the introductory paragraph. Not always. You can make an argument that it needs to be somewhere else, but in most cases, it should be in your introduction somewhere, a single sentence that tells your readers exactly what the purpose of your paper is. I'm hoping in this class that you will be able to stretch yourself to find a purpose beyond just You asked me to do this, and so I'm doing it because I really want to get an A or B in this class. I would love you to find a purpose that has something to do with the workplace, something to do with your ministry, something to do with a job that you're aspiring to in the future, something that's personal to you. The students that do the best are those who are able to take the content, mix it with information they already know, experiences they've already had, and then come up with something new that applies to things that you're wanting to do. With the response paper, as with the discussion forums, take the time to edit carefully. If you haven't explored it before, I hope you will consider making an appointment with the Portland Writing Center. There's a link at the top of our Foxtail page, and you can click on it. You'll see their calendar. Most of the appointments these days are online. You can come in face-to-face if you want to, but it's not difficult to do. This is a free service to you. You've already paid for it with your tuition dollars. And if you click on a calendar link, if you're doing it online, you don't actually have to be anywhere. You can be at work, you can be with your family, whatever you need to do. What that does is it reserves an hour with a particular consultant. They will then spend an hour with just your paper, putting comments on it, feedback on it, and then send it back to you. Take advantage of that. There's no reason not to. As I said, it's free to you. So at some point in this term, in our time together, I hope that you will. I want to let you know a little bit about me. So I already said I'm an English professor by training. I have a PhD in English. I have an MFA in creative writing. I have a Doctor of Ministry in ministry. It's actually in leadership. And this class is new, so I've enjoyed putting it together. You're going to walk through it the first time with me, and I have a little confession to make. Until September 1st, which, oh my goodness, is coming up real quickly. That's like Saturday. I am very focused on a book deadline. So I had the good fortune of sending out my book proposal. When did I send it out? End of April. And the first publisher I sent it to, it's a publisher called WIP, WIPF, WIP and Stock, said yes and said, oh, get your book to us by September 1st. So that date is encroaching on me, and I have a couple chapters left that I'm still working on. So this room that I'm in right now, this is my home study, and I have been locked in here, I feel like, for over a month, just pounding. So September 2nd, I'm going to feel so much more free. Anyway, the book is exactly what this class is about. It's called The Jesus Quotient, and then there's a colon and a subtitle, and the subtitle is IQ. And then there's an arrow to EQ, and then there's another arrow to AQ. And I'll just give you in a nutshell my argument, my thesis statement for the whole book is that Jesus' example of leadership is the quintessential example. I'm trying to write the book in a way that it could be read by non-believers, secular people, as well as believers. And my argument is that Jesus had such a sound understanding of his own IQ, intelligence quotient, his own EQ, emotional quotient. For example, he didn't sit and wonder, well, I wonder if I say this, if it's going to make them angry, or gosh, I'm feeling this physiological something. I wonder if this is an emotion. I'm going to shove it away. He was so in touch with his emotions that he did not carry the baggage of feeling like his IQ perhaps wasn't good enough, or his EQ, he was ignoring it because he was stamping down emotions. Because he mastered those two so completely, he was God, he could focus on something that I'm calling AQ, which is audience quotient. And my argument in the book is that it would behoove Christian leaders, pastors, professors, etc., but honestly, leaders in any realm, to take stock of their own IQ, which we really can't change per se, but we can acknowledge fully and own, our own EQ, which you can do work on and change, to the extent that you can then focus on the audience before you. So in Jesus' situation, it might be a single person that he was talking to. And because he does not carry his own baggage, he's not even worrying about himself. He's able to focus 100% on that person before him, how that person is responding to the things that he's saying, what that person's pain might be, what their joy point might be, and how he can help them. If he was talking to 5,000 people, he's able to, at all times, read his audience, focusing on the audience quotient because he had such a good grip on his intelligence quotient and his emotional quotient. So if you're a praying person, please just say a quick prayer for me at some point because I am a little bit overwhelmed with finishing up this week. But thankfully, we're just starting, so I have posted what you need to know in terms of assignments for this next week. Your first discussion forum post is due Wednesday night, and then you have follow-up posts or posts to your peers on Saturday, and then by Sunday night, your first paper. And by then, I'll be done with my deadline and ready to turn around and focus on you. If you're local, I have an office on the second floor of the Portland Center. I am chair of the Department of Professional Studies, so I am there pretty much every day, and I would love to meet with you. If you're not local or if you just don't have time, but you do want to talk, we can talk by phone. I'm a little hard to reach by phone, so always just send me an email first. I'm easy to reach over email. I actually prefer, if you want to talk to me, I would prefer video conference, so Zoom, so I can at least see your face if you're not able to come in. But just let me know. I'm here. I'm happy to help. And as I said, I'm very excited about this course. God bless and enjoy your week.